Hello, Cancer. This is Michelle, and I'm here to do a February 2021 tarot reading for you. I'm using the Smith-Waite tarot deck, the Centennial Edition. It's a reproduction deck, and it's just a lot of fun. It's beautiful. And I'm also going to bring in an oracle card for you from Oracle of Mystical Moments. And I have been shuffling the cards for quite a while, so I think they're going to be ready. Let's give them a quick shuffle. Okay, there we go. Oh, and there's a three of cups on the bottom of the deck. Let's do a cut for my Cancer friends. Got 3 of cups. I'm really happy to see that. I do feel that there's a connection to February and March in particular. And so it could be that we might be feeling like a lift around the month of March. I actually talked about that in the January astrology. So a little bit about the astrology. Things are changing. Saturn is moving into a different position, and I feel like in March, a lot of us are going to feel things lift, all right? And so, well, we're starting with the 2 of Cups. Beautiful to see for you. All right, just coming out of the deck, yes. And 5 of Swords, all right. Let's just pull a few to get started. Queen of Wands. All right, interesting. Some fire coming into the water reading. And 10 of Pentacles. Oh my goodness. That's almost like a signature card for you, Cancer. I mean, not like in terms of the major arcana, but or you know, any kind of system, but I just think of you when I see that. I'm getting sort of a very literal read from this initially, and I bet you can see it too, right? I mean, this is really kind of clear as day. In a very literal sense, I feel that there were some changes, some unexpected things that happened in some relationships. It could be that there are certain people that you're associated with that behaved in ways that were unexpected. I want to say you weren't expecting them to do that, and potentially you didn't agree with that behavior. It could be that you actually felt disappointed with those people and what they did, their decision. If for some of you, it could be how they treated you. All right. For some of you, it could be like, I'm just disappointed at that person, not only based on what they did, but how they treated me. And I think that you're in a process of healing from that situation. And so I'm sorry if you're resonating with this too. I'm sorry that you felt that way. Now, I don't usually read the 5 of Swords that straight up. That's a pretty traditional reading. And I usually have other readings that come up, but I just am really picking up some very traditional readings at this point. I do feel with the 10 coming up, the 10 of Pentacles, on the one hand, for some of you, I feel like for some of you, it can be your sort of, I want to say, returning to family or looking at your family to understand who it is that you can really trust. Who are the people that are really on my side, especially if the people that you were disappointed with are not family members, okay, if that's the scenario. If the people that were a disappointment in some way, or you've had a little falling out with our family members, then I feel that family is still I want to say, a center of strength for you. And that can be why it's important to heal, to find healing, because it can be very difficult when family members have a falling out, and some of us feel like we're just not at peace until things get mended, until those relationships get mended, and we can figure out a way to forgive one another and get back on track with our usual or our loving relationships. If not loving, at least accepting, okay? At least accepting. And I'm going to say this too, Cancer, I feel that for some of you, this situation has been kind of a drain, and that you would like to get your energy back. It can be sapping your energy, and it's time to get your energy back. And I don't think that you really want to be focusing on this all that much. At a certain point, yes, and then another part of that with that Queen of Wands is that you also, I'm hearing the word, or the phrase I should say, that you don't want to compromise. Okay, so no compromises. You don't want to compromise your values or your beliefs or your what you know to be right in order to smooth things over. And so those two things are like kind of happening. The one thing is the healing, but also at the same time not compromising your principles. Okay, so principles is coming up, and now we have strength coming in. Okay, beautiful to see. I want to say, boy, this is kind of a really targeted reading thus far, but I am picking up the sense that you really brought a lot of strength into this situation to get through this particular scenario. And now we have the Devil coming in. All right, let's pull one more card. Look at those two major arcana. They are so opposed to one another, and sitting on either side. Okay, so that's a very strong position. And now we have the Four of Cups. All right, let's actually take a look at those three together. I'm getting a very intense feeling here from this, I have to say. And we have a few more cards to finish up this reading, but I want to say this, that there can be a temptation. All right, so there can be a temptation to allow other people's behavior, actions, beliefs, things that potentially you don't agree with or don't think are right. There can be a temptation to allow their energy or what they're going through or that thing. It just like it doesn't harmonize with your energy, is what I want to say. And there can be a temptation to allow that to kind of leak in to your environment and atmosphere. And I feel that you have had the strength to keep your boundaries about this, to maintain your principles and your values, to not allow that to impact your, I want to say life, but also just like your emotional life. Okay, so let's put it that way. And so let's continue on, but I think this is understandable. That's what I'm going to say. This is understandable that we can kind of fluctuate back and forth between feeling strong about this and then also feeling a little tempted. All right, that's what I'm picking up from the Devil, is just a temptation. I am going to say, though, straight up, that if you intuitively are picking up any kind of a sense that somebody isn't trustworthy in your environment, if you are picking that up and you think that you're going to be taken advantage of in some way, so I'm hearing the word swindled. Goodness gracious. Okay. If you are picking up any kind of vibes like, wow, that person is not on the up and up, that's a little bit separate reading. But if you're picking that up, listen to that information. You have a very strong intuition. All right. You know, there are just all kinds of unscrupulous people these days trying to do things. I want to say I'm not, this is a little bit different than the reading that I was focused on, but it is kind of coming up just a little bit. There's a hint, and who knows how many people are going to see this video. It could be that there's a little message coming through just to trust your gut. That's what I'm hearing. You know what? Trust your gut. If you feel like someone is in your environment that isn't, their intentions aren't all for the good. And now we have the 8 of Rods coming in, okay? I think that, you know what, now is the time for this healing to take place for sure. I'm just sensing like, you know, it's not helpful to linger and let this situation go on and on. It doesn't help in any way. And I can kind of envision Cancer a little bit kind of getting entrenched in that sort of feeling of disappointment, all right? So there's no need for that. The need is for healing and moving on. We have the Ace of Swords coming in. I think that you do want to put this behind you, all right? And I think that you know that it's the best thing to do. It could be that it is going to take a little bit of, I want to say, private reflection. Okay, so that's what I'm picking up with this too. So here's another thing I'm picking up. For some of you that are resonating, it might just be that, you know what, I'm just not ready. I'm not ready to heal and get past it with this scenario. All right. I know that I need to heal. I know that we need to heal. I know I need to move on and make a new start. I know I brought a lot of strength to bear, but I'm sort of hearing like this, like, give me a break and let me just be with this for a little while and process it. You will come out of it, Cancer. I think that's perfectly understandable and okay, to take time to process the situation and then to come out of that thinking and that thought process with a sense of renewal. Okay, so a sense of renewal. The two, we're ending on that Two of Swords, but I don't feel like the Two of Swords is the end of things. The conclusion here is the Two of Cups, actually. But if you feel like, you know, I just need to be, just leave me alone. Okay, that's what I'm picking up. Leave me alone for a little while and let me just digest this, because we can't be forced, I want to say forced to move forward through the situation if we're not ready. But I do feel that you are going to be ready. And I feel that temptation to sort of get a little bit, I want to say, have the situation kind of overwhelm your entire environment. There's a little bit of a temptation perhaps for that, but I don't think you're going to sit in it that long. I really don't. The new start is coming in. You know it's time. You know it's not going to be helpful for you to sit in that, all right, to sit with that energy for very long. But you take the time that you need, and then you heal, and you move on. Just because somebody has perhaps disappointed you and you're going to forgive them in order to heal and move on, and you're going to, you know, try to be understanding, does not mean that you're going to continue to allow people to take advantage of you and disappoint you, right? It doesn't have to mean they're going to continue to do that. And so I think that there's a way to heal and get through the situation, forgive the person, but also make it quite clear that I'm going to maintain my boundaries and my strength and my principles and my values. I'm not going to give in to this thing, this energy, this thought process, this concept. ideal principle that you want to bring in. I'm sticking to my values here. And all right, and so from the Oracle of Mystical Moments, we have Abracadabra, which is just a absolutely beautiful card. And we can see the constellations all around here. There's a sense of magic around. This card is telling me that what you are going through at this time, if you're resonating with this reading, is a tremendous learning experience. And this is it may be difficult, but it's part of your path, and you are growing even more in your strength and in understanding who you are as an individual, what it means to be you. I don't mean, and when I say Cancer, I mean you, the individual person watching this reading. I think that you are going through a situation that is informing you, clarifying exactly who it is that you are, what you believe in, and what you stand for. And that is a beautiful thing. That is a wonderful thing. All right, Cancer, that's your reading for February 2021. Thank you so much for being here. It is a pleasure and a privilege to read for you always. And I'll see you next time.